All right, everybody, we are here at the conclusion of day one, the 2025 NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships. What a day it was. We had 5Ks, we had DMRs, long jumps, weight throws, pole vaults, just a splendid day of track and field and everything you could hope for. We'll start with the women's events that kicked us off today. You had the pentathlon where Jaden O'Brien of Notre Dame won her third consecutive indoor title, this time in a big PB, 4,596 points. That moves her to fifth on the all-time collegiate list. Like I said, 3 in a row. That is an impressive achievement, especially in an event that is a multi-event like the pentathlon. We move to some of the track finals we had. We had the 5K and the DMR coming in with the fastest fields in history for both the men and the women in both of these races. And boy, oh boy, did they deliver. We'll start with the 5K, where you had Alabama's Doris Lemngole come in. You know, she's the collegiate record holder, big favorite. You had 2 of the other 3 women that have broken 15 in collegiate history in the race in Florida's Hilda Lemmermoy and BYU's Lexi Halliday-Lowry. What we were rewarded with in the fastest women's 5K field in history was an epic battle between Doris Lemngole and BYU's Lexi Halliday-Lowry. And guys, this one was epic. It came right down to the wire on that last lap. Doris was at the front. It looked like Lexi was going to pass her with about 100 to go. And Doris found the strength to hold her off. And guess what? They're going head-to-head again in the 3K tomorrow, so you will not want to miss that one. Then you got the women's DMR. Oregon dominated the first 3 legs, and they passed the baton off to mile NCAA record holder Shalana Ildes. Seems like they're in a pretty good spot, but not if Riley Chamberlain has anything to say about it. The BYU Cougar comes in here, runs a 4:25.1. That was her split for the last 1,600. Overtakes Ildes and gets the win for the Cougars. That is a big 10 points. And what has been kind of a topsy-turvy team race today. You have Stanford, who is a contender coming in, just given the strength of their distance squad. But their team, their potential really got messed up today. Amy Bunnage, unfortunately, had to step off the track during the 5K, and that was a big source of points for them in the 3K and the 5K. Their DMR team finished last when coming in. They were seated in the top 5, I believe. And then Juliet Whitaker, yes, Olympian Juliet Whitaker, finished 9th, just outside the qualifying quota for the women's 800-meter final. So not a great day for Stanford. But then in the field events, you had a great day out of Baylor's Alexis Brown and Wisconsin's Taylor Kesner. Alexis Brown, after making the final in the women's 60 meters, she comes back and wins the women's long jump. Her first jump is a PB. That wins the competition, but then she comes back later, so that's another PB of 6 meters 90, moving her comfortably into the top 10 in NCAA history indoors. Taylor Kesner, on the other hand, comes in. She throws a meter plus PB in round 6. And this is primarily a discus thrower outdoors, which discus and weight is kind of a weird combination, but Taylor Kesner is making it work. It's going to be very interesting to see after she throws 23.50 here, what that potential for her is going to look like outdoors. In some other prelim action that's important for the team race, you had Oregon qualify basically everyone they needed through. Jaden Mays in the 60 and the 200, Shalana Ildes and Wilma Nielsen in the mile. Oregon is in a great spot, and Aaliyah McCormick in the 60-meter hurdles. Oregon is in a great spot to continue their team title push. And they did get second in the DMR, so that's a big 8 points for them. Moving over to the men's side now, we'll start the way we ended with the 5K and the DMR, because those races were insane. The 5K, so many different lead changes. Rocky Hansen was in the lead. Hatem Samuel was in the lead. You had Marco Langen in the lead. And then ultimately, it's Oklahoma State's Brian Musau that overtakes Hatem Samuel on the last lap, wins in 13:11 low. The top 7 guys were all within 4 seconds. This race was absolutely crazy and a big, big win for Brian Musau. And then you get to the DMR. The first 3 legs, it's not looking great for UNC and Virginia, but you know who they have on those anchor legs. They have the 2 fastest milers in NCAA history, in Gary Martin and Ethan Strand. They closed the gap. Ethan moved to the front with about 600 left, I think it was, and it looked like he was in a really good spot. It was setting up pretty much exactly as Coach Chris Miltenberg could have hoped. But Gary Martin was not satisfied with that. Gary Martin closed, and he took what ended up being about a 1.5 to 2 second win for Virginia, closing in 3:48.11 to Ethan Strand's 3:49. That is ridiculous, and that is exactly what we would have wanted that DMR to create. In the men's field events, you had Kelsey Daniel of Texas win the men's long jump. He hit a big PB of 8.16 meters. He's now second in Trinidadian history. And then the men's, wait for it. Let me tell you, Daniel Reynolds, two-turn monster. He broke his own world record on two turns, throwing 25 meters 8. And guess what? There were 6 guys in this competition over 24 meters. That is legendary status. It was an insane competition, and a big congrats to Daniel Reynolds of Wyoming. Now, I forgot to mention the pole vaults there for a second, and I would be doing a great disservice if I did not mention the amazing performances from the Moll twins today, Amanda and Hannah. Amanda takes the win at 470, you know, the collegiate record holder from 2 weeks ago at Big Tens. She clears 470 on her first attempt. Hannah, her twin sister, clears 470 on her third attempt. So Amanda takes the win on countback. 1-2 for UW right there. Then in the men's pole vault, you have Simon Gatormson of Duke. Added another pole vault trophy to the Gatormson family trophy case after his brother Sandre won multiple NCAA pole vault titles at Princeton. Now Simon at Duke wins his first. A big win for Simon. It was a great competition. He takes the win, clearing 5 meters 71. In the men's team race, there was a lot of interesting things that happened today. USC, one of the top contenders, didn't have a great day in the long jump. They had JC Stevenson and Johnny Brackens finish 6th and 8th, which is only 4 points. They needed a lot more from that out of them, but they ran really well in the 60 and the 60 hurdles, so they're not completely out of it. For A&M, for Texas A&M, they didn't get a ton of points from Alexander Solovev, their pole vaulter, who also didn't have a great day at SECs, but they made up for it with their DMR. Came in seeded 10th and finished 4th. So Texas A&M is still very much in the thick of it. But then Arkansas, they only saw one guy of their 3 make it through to the 400-meter finals. And then also, Yassine Abdallah and Patrick Kiprop in the 5K didn't have their best days, finishing in 13th and 14th. They really needed points there, so not getting those points is going to be tough for their team title hopes. But they did get some good points from some lower-seeded guys in long jump. So basically all I'm saying is nothing is settled until the 4x4s run tomorrow, which is the best thing you can possibly hope for an NCAA indoor championship. That's all for day one. It was a wild day, and if tomorrow is anything like it, I mean, tomorrow we've got 23 finals on deck, I believe. We're going finals after finals after finals after finals. You will want to tune in, and we'll have all the action right here, covering it all on CITIUS Mag and CITIUS Mag U and our YouTube channels as well.